Some people go on living in peace with a memory, certain they've left it behind forever. They gave themselves every logical reason to move forward. They reconciled with silence, rebuilt their world without you, and convinced themselves they no longer felt the old pull. And yet, every so often, you return, not in a knock at the door, but drifting in like incense through a locked window. They hardly notice you at first. Then, without warning, everything around them smells like your presence again. This isn't mere recall. This is something far more profound, a divine interruption. You were never just another name in someone's history. You were a turning point, a sacred spark, a frequency they can't mute. They didn't see it at the time. They saw comfort and familiarity. But beneath it all, you carried a power that was never casual or ordinary. Every interaction awakened something deep within them, a reminder of who they were meant to become. When you walked in, you brought more than a smile or a heart full of good intentions. You brought possibility. You showed them a vision of themselves they hadn't dared to embrace. Maybe they sensed it without understanding. Maybe they felt the weight of your spirit and it scared them. Because when you love at that level, you demand truth. So they left. They distanced themselves. They flooded their days with noise, social feeds, cheap distractions, empty chatter, anything to drown out the echo of your presence. They convinced themselves it was pride or self-protection. But the real motive lay deeper. They weren't ready for what you offered. They weren't prepared for the truth your presence revealed. Yet now, long after you ceased to reach out, God stirs the stillness in their soul. In the hush that follows a storm, in the quiet moments when their chest finally unclenches, your voice returns. In a melody on the radio, in the sudden scent of rain, they remember. They can't replace you, because what you embodied wasn't just personal. It was sacred. They wake from dreams where your face appears unbidden. They find themselves staring absent-mindedly at your old messages. They look around at new companions and realize these strangers offer echoes, but no substance. No one else can replicate the light you shone. No one else can guide them toward the horizon of their potential. This is not obsession, and it isn't confusion. It is spiritual consequence. When heaven sends something divine and it's dismissed, or worse, mishandled, the loss reverberates in the holiest chambers of the heart. They thought they were letting go of you. In reality, they were releasing a divine appointment, a calling that cut through the ordinary. Your absence now carries a weight equal to your presence. You no longer stand beside them, but your light still marks the path they ought to walk. Even if you've moved on, your frequency lingers, a silent insistence that they cannot outrun. God won't let them forget what they lost, not to punish, but to clarify. Now they whisper prayers they never uttered when you were there. They hold apologies in their throat that once drowned in pride. They ache with a longing they can't name, a void that no substitute can fill. It isn't about you. It's about what you represented, a doorway to destiny, a mirror to their unclaimed greatness. You don't sit waiting for their return or fix your gaze on a reunion that may never come. You've stepped into a new reality, one where your soul's worth isn't defined by their readiness. You trust that what belongs to you will find you, but you don't freeze time waiting. You keep moving, head held high, heart intact, because you know this isn't just a story of loss. It's a story of awakening. Their awakening, yes, but also yours. You showed up when they needed a catalyst, even if they couldn't appreciate the gift. You loved, you released, you trusted, and through that process, you proved that true love is never contingent on understanding or reciprocity. This is the shift. Renouncing bitterness, refusing to feed the what if, and embracing the journey towards someone who matches your frequency. Someone who recognizes, without hesitation, the light you carry because it aligns with the glow already within them. But let's not diminish what they feel. Their sorrow is not melodrama. It is soul recognition delayed. It's the echo of a missed assignment, a path they never took. And in that echo, they glimpse the gravity of eternity. They sense that the moment they turned away, they traded alignment for distance. Now God is letting them sit in stillness so they finally see it. He's lifting the masks they wore. He's stripping away every distraction that once filled their days, until only the memory of you remains. And in that memory, they find clarity. They'll never forget you, nor should they. Some connections are meant to reshape a life, not to linger as fond afterthoughts. When you were together, heaven whispered through you. Your love carried a divine instruction, one they weren't ready to follow. Now they carry the consequences of disconnecting from what could have called them higher. They feel the absence like an empty room that once held living fire. They remember your laughter, your gentle insistence on authenticity. They remember your eyes, reflecting the version of them they'd never met. Here's what you know. You didn't fail. You didn't love too much, nor did you read the signs incorrectly. You were simply an early arrival to a union that demanded more maturity than they had. Love like that is no casual pastime. It is a call to transformation. Meanwhile, you walk forward, unapologetic, free, at peace. Because the lesson wasn't about holding on to a past that can't be rewritten. It was about distinguishing between a soul tie and a soul test. A soul tie connects. A soul test challenges. You passed your test by stepping back when it was time. And now, you're prepared for the one who won't require a test, a partner for whom your frequency is home, not a foreign note that must be silenced. A soul already ready and waiting, who sees your light and recognizes it because it mirrors their own. Until then, you keep moving into a reality where presence means acceptance, where love is not a battleground, but a sanctuary. You let God finish the work in their spirit. You trust quiet memory to refine them. You trust grace to lift them. But you don't look back. You keep writing chapters where your love is received, held with reverence, matched with devotion. You release the burden of what could have been. And that ache they carry? It stands as proof that God never let them forget you. Their soul's longing is a testament to the divine intersection you created together. When a sacred appointment is missed, heaven doesn't erase it. It echoes in eternity. As for you, you've done your part. You showed up as you were meant to, fully, fearlessly, purely. You loved without reservation. You released with dignity. And you trusted that what's meant for you will not pass you by. So walk on, beautiful soul. Keep your heart strong and your frequency clear. The life you're meant to live, lies ahead. One where your love is honored, your presence treasured, and your spirit finally finds its home. That's the story you're stepping into now. And that's the love you're walking toward. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this message spoke to you, consider sharing it with someone who needs this reminder. Remember to subscribe and continue exploring the path where your heart is fully seen. Until next time.